Hello everyone, this is Hanna-Pirita, a Finnish comic artist. I'm sorry for my Finnish accent when I speak English. And this is my small speech about making comics. I'm reading it straight from the paper because I can't remember it. Thank you. Comics are a very dear thing to me. I have been reading comics since I was a small child, and the main reason I got into comics was my father. My father was dyslexic, which means reading longer texts was almost impossible for him. For some reason he was able to read comics. In comics the text is divided into small portions in speech bubbles, which makes it easier to read for someone with a dyslexia. This is my reason for making comics. In comics, the majority of the story is told with pictures. I especially appreciate silent comics that tell stories with pictures alone. The saying, "a picture tells more than 1,000 words," is really true in comics. Quite often I get comments in the internet that ask me, "Can you give me some tips on making comics?" The question is really a hard one. Making comics is not something where there's only one possible solution on how to make them. I always try my best to answer in a way that sounds inspiring, and I try not to make them think that the only right way to make comics is the way I make them. The right way to make comics is the way you yourself want to make comics. Comic artist Hanna-Pirita, the author of Hellboy series, makes all his comics with the simple Sharpie markers that you can buy in any grocery store in US. There's another comic artist, Art Spiegelman, who has won the Pulitzer Award for his comic Mouse, which tells a story of his father, a Holocaust survivor. Mr. Spiegelman made his comic Mouse with a normal fountain pen on a normal typing paper, and the comic looks amazing. Some artists use really expensive materials and some use the cheapest ones they can find, but what makes their comics great is not the materials, it's the idea and the passion to make comics. The most important thing in making comics is to stop planning on making comics and start making comics for real. A great way to start making comics is to start a comic diary. Just drawing about the things that happen to you in everyday life teaches you a lot about drawing comics. You can never become a great comic artist if you don't dare to stop dreaming about being one and start making your own dreams come true by practicing a lot every day. Anyone can make great comics. Some of the best comics out there have horrible art, in my opinion, but really good ideas. And that's what makes comics so awesome. If you have ideas, you can make awesome comics. There are also comics out there that have amazingly beautiful art, but they have no idea whatsoever. And some people like that kind of comics as well. You don't need to be perfect to make comics, you just have to start making them. And my source for the information about Hanna-Pirita and Art Spiegelman was from this book, Making Comics by Scott McCloud, one of my favorite books. Thank you for listening, bye bye!